I'm in touch with technological advances pretty well everywhere, and I can tell you that no one has produced anything like
Thank you so much for joining us. We have Tebogo Ditshego and the team actually in studio this morning from Tebogo Media, and quite an exciting initiative that's being launched on Sunday. Very jam-packed. Tebogo, tell us the details on that.
RSVP at president@sagnet.co.za. So SAGNET is SAGNET, president@sagnet.co.za. Dear young South Africans, as the president of the South African Graduates Business Network and the CEO of Ditshego Media, I'm excited to announce that we will be launching the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive on Sunday, the 9th of January, 2022 from 9 a.m. This is a moment where we will support you to become the architects of your own destiny. So to RSVP, please email president@sagnet.co.za. We look forward to seeing you there. When does the magic happen? Well, it happens at sunset with the beautiful mirage of colors adorning the horizon. But how often do we invest in and appreciate these magical moments? Now, we believe that marketing is the magic that leads to business growth as well as customer satisfaction. So how much is your business growing and how satisfied are your customers? If you'd like to do better, we'd love to have that conversation. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity.
Sister kunjani? Kusho ukuthi nidayisa amakhalenda lana.
Amalini?
U2000 rand kuphela.
Oh bhuti, 2000.
Le ayifani namanye amakhalenda le nama holiday abhaya.
Aren't you tired of unrealistic marketing campaigns? Well, look no further. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity. The vaccine at Click Sentence City. It was the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And I took it because I believe that it is my responsibility to protect my employees, my family, my friends, my clients, as well as the general public. I'd like to encourage South Africans to get vaccinated so that we can save lives and rebuild our economy. This message is supported by the Public Relations Institute of Southern Africa, as well as Ditshego Media.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have Tebogo Ditshego and the team actually in studio this morning from Ditshego Media, and quite an exciting initiative that's being launched on Sunday. Very jam-packed. Tebogo, tell us the details on that.
RSVP at president@sagnet.co.za. So SAGNET is SAGNET, president@sagnet.co.za. Dear young South Africans, as the president of the South African Graduates Business Network and the CEO of Ditshego Media, I'm excited to announce that we will be launching the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive on Sunday, the 9th of January, 2022 from 9 a.m. This is a moment where we will support you to become the architects of your own destiny. So to RSVP, please email president@sagnet.co.za. We look forward to seeing you there. When does the magic happen? Well, it happens at sunset with the beautiful mirage of colors adorning the horizon. But how often do we invest in and appreciate these magical moments? Now, we believe that marketing is the magic that leads to business growth as well as customer satisfaction. So how much is your business growing and how satisfied are your customers? If you'd like to do better, we'd love to have that conversation. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. I'm going to be with you in a moment. Hang in there. But I'd like to ask you to use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Youth Economic Empowerment. Hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Let's get this trending on Twitter. When it comes to quoting me, you don't have to get all of the words right. As long as you get the idea, because quotes are more about ideas than specific words. You can quote me as you've heard me and as you remember. And you can use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Other ways to generate content will be just to say that you're excited to be logged in live on YouTube. You can share the link. Everybody will be able to access it. But other ways would also be to share your ideas about youth economic empowerment. So it's hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Let's trend. Let's get it at the top of the conversation. I will be with you in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a few people who are still logging in. They've sent us emails for the updated link. So we just have to quickly send them those details and we will be with you very shortly. What we'd like you to do is just use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Get the conversation going. When you quote me, it doesn't have to be a direct quote. As I've said, it's about the idea, not necessarily just the words. So you can feel free to quote what I've said, but also speak about how excited you are to be at the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. So the hashtag is there on your screen. Youth Economic Empowerment. Use it on Twitter. Let's get it trending. And we will be starting in a moment. We're looking forward to chatting you about this exciting initiative. See you later. When does the magic happen? Well, it happens at sunset with the beautiful mirage of colors adorning the horizon. But how often do we invest in and appreciate these magical moments? Now, we believe that marketing is the magic that leads to business growth as well as customer satisfaction. So how much is your business growing and how satisfied are your customers? If you'd like to do better, we'd love to have that conversation. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have Tebogo Ditshego and the team actually in studio this morning from Ditshego Media and quite an exciting initiative that's being launched on Sunday, very jam-packed. Tebogo, tell us the details on that.
RSVP at president@sagnet.co.za. So SAGNET is SAGNET, president@sagnet.co.za.
Sister kunjani? Kusho ukuthi nidayisa amakhalenda lana.
Amalini?
Ku-2000 rand kuphela.
Oh bhuti, 2000.
Le ayifani namanye amakhalenda le nama-holiday abhaya.
Aren't you tired of unrealistic marketing campaigns? Well, look no further. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity. and gentlemen, we are live. It is now time to launch the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. The time is now to launch the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive, and we are now live. We will be coming back to you. Just give me 2 seconds. But for now, use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Share your comments. We'll share them on screen. And we're back, and this time we're back for good. We're back to launch the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. From time to time, we will be sending links for those who are struggling to log in so that they can get access to the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. Thank you for your great comments, and we will continue to share them on the screen. But let's go to your comments. Let's start here at the bottom. And we have a comment from Tabang Mufulufulu, who is saying that he's ready to learn, which is amazing. Thank you, Tabang. We have a comment here from Jafta Siminya, who says we are ready. We have a comment from Today's Era Marketing, who you can subscribe to, says we're tuned in. Thank you very much for that. Kulufelo Likai. She says her morning is ready. And then we have Nompelo, who says that please share the link to SAGNET. You can follow SAGNET on Twitter. It's at SAGNET_SA on Twitter. And you'll get the details. And Fulufelo says, good vibes. Thank you, Fulufelo. We've got Henry who says, thank you, Mr. President. Definitely an honor to be witnessing the launch of this life-changing initiative. Absolutely. There's no doubt about that. We need to shift the narrative and we need to move our country forward, and we must empower young people. And we'll go to this comment from Mabore Mabilo, who says, this launch has just blessed my year. Absolutely. This is the energy that we need in the room. And we have a comment from DJ K Jazzy. Sorry, I thought you were a DJ. K Jazzy said, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for the invite of this great initiative, and thank you very much for tuning in. And we have a comment from Motivating the Subconscious Mind. I'm looking forward to seeing your channel and seeing what you have to offer. He says, we're ready and we're launching this and we're watching this from Cape Town. That's why we have it on YouTube, so that we can access young people from across the country. So thank you for tuning in. And we have another comment from Tabiso Matlola. He says, thanks, leadership, Tebogo Ditshego, for this initiative. May every youth in South Africa benefit from it. Let's share it, leaders, with others. YEE Drive, the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. And I'd like to ask you from time to time, every minute or every 2 minutes, to go on Twitter and just post your thoughts, your ideas, things that you're picking up from these conversations. What are you learning? What have you heard? Doesn't have to be exact quotes. The idea is what matters. And go on Twitter, use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Let's get it trending across the country. Now, why is it important for this to trend across the country? It's because we need to ensure that the narrative around youth economic empowerment is at the forefront. Whenever we get an opportunity to place it at the forefront, we must do it, because this is a productive conversation that is going to help us in our careers, and it's going to help us move forward. And I'm going to take you through how we're going to do that in a few minutes. So continue, go on to YouTube. You can even search Youth Economic Empowerment. Let's retweet everybody who's using the hashtag, and let's post our thoughts. Even if you just say, I'm excited to be tuned into the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive, which is hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment, it'll make a big difference. And we go to Tabi Iso. who we've spoken to already, and we've got someone who I know, Majola Lois, who said, thanks for the initiative, Tebogo. We can't wait, and you no longer have to wait. We are here, we are launching. We've got Mponyana Ditshego Bito, le guy. She says, what an exciting opportunity for me to start the year. We're glad that you're happy about this. And we will be going through all of your comments. We've got FP Media House and Photography who says, let's go. We've got Gwendoline Khatle who says we are ready. We've got Dube who says it's a great initiative. I'm just concerned that it's at the same time as the Sunday church services, which is a very fair comment to make. So thank you very much for that comment. And yes, we might have to start multitasking or moving our schedules around. So thank you very much for your comments. We will continue to share them. And on the screen, you can now see that we are live for the Youth Economic Empowerment launch. And we are also going to be using the hashtag, which you can see there on the screen. It's Youth Economic Empowerment. Let's use it on Twitter. Log in every 1 to 2 minutes. Share your thoughts. Share your experiences. Share your ideas. Search the hashtag and retweet everybody's comments. And it'll be really appreciated. Now, without further ado, we are going to start with what is important for us to note. It's important, firstly, for us to note that as young people, we have used social media quite effectively. A lot of young people have used social media to empower themselves, to build themselves, to connect with other people, to connect with opportunities, and to also keep in touch with what is going on in the world. We have used social media also to come together and to socialize. You know, we're watching television shows on the weekend, watching sports shows, teasing each other, having a good time on social media. We've used social media also to move towards accountability. If you don't get good service somewhere, you can hold these people accountable. And we've used it and mobilized it to hold people accountable for better or for worse. So we have used social media quite effectively as young people. But I don't believe that we are using it as effectively as we need to, because social media has not been growing our careers at a level that we need it to. And one of the ways in which we can ensure that social media starts to play a role in our careers is if we become more strategic on how we use social media. So it's simple. We need to have objectives. We need to have a plan to reach these objectives, and we must execute. And for us to be more effective, we have to come together. If you are to approach an institution, you say, hi, my name is Tabo and I'm approaching this institution and I want assistance. It is very easy for you to be dismissed. It's very easy. You can just be dismissed just like that. But if we come together and we connect with each other, we develop objectives together, we develop a plan together, we pool our resources together and we implement. We use our resources together. We will be able to be much more impactful. So the first challenge that I have to you is to accept the invitation to be organized by us. Accept the invitation to come together as young people and to be organized. Accept the invitation for us to reprioritize what we look as important and what we focus on. Because what we pay attention to and what we focus on has a major impact on who we become. So if we can reprioritize our focus areas, if we can integrate ourselves and work collectively together, we will be able to become more impactful, more productive, and more successful. So that is the first invitation that I send out to you, is that accept the invitation to come on board. Be a participator. Participate in these initiatives so that we can be able to have a stronger voice. Because when we're working in the collective, we will have a much stronger voice. We must organize the youth to be much more impactful. We must organize the youth to be much more focused. We must organize the youth to reorganize their priorities so that at the top is their personal and professional development. Once you've developed yourself personally and professionally, you have a profound impact. You will have a profound impact on your surroundings and your community. But it is very difficult for you to be impactful if you cannot help yourself, if you cannot develop yourself. I think another thing that is important, and I want us to think about this. Let's think about our history and let's think about our differences. You will notice that we have more in common than we have in terms of differences. We are concerned about youth economic empowerment, hence we are tuned in to the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. We are all positive today. If you look at the comments, 99 to 100% positive. Because we have hope that we're not where we want to be right now, but we will get to where we need to be tomorrow. So we have a lot in common, and we are positive about the future. And we all believe that if we just thought a little bit differently, if we just prioritized more important things, if we just supported each other a little bit more, so much of our potential can be unlocked. And similar to everyone who is on this conversation, whether you're using your last 1 gigabyte of data or whether you have access to the fiber and you'll be able to tune in for the whole session, all of us have not lost hope. So one thing we have in common, we believe that the future holds promise that we must unlock. A promise of us realizing our potential. But we also have not given up hope. And we know that we have a part to play in the transformation of our country. So with all of that in common, I want us to put aside our differences for a second. Differences of where we stay, differences of how much we're earning, differences of what we think is the solution, differences in race, tribe, differences in religious affiliation, differences in political affiliation, differences in any aspect of life, gender differences. Let us put that away. And for now, let's focus on what brings us together, which is the development of the youth of South Africa and the development of South Africa. We want to see South Africa realize its potential. However, that is not going to be possible if we leave young people behind. Young people are not just the future. Young people are the present. And young people must be involved in decision-making processes. So we have the hashtag that I'd like you to use. There, it's on your screen. I will be sharing your chats. I will be multitasking. You see, there are people who have not received the link to the YouTube channel. Some of the links have been giving them technical difficulties. So I'll be multitasking, sending people the link. They won't miss out on everything. They will join us very soon, but it's not a lot of people. And so let's go to the chats quickly before we go into the formal presentation. And I will be sharing the chats. I won't read them all out, but I'll just share the chats, and I'm happy to see that, for example, today's era marketing is excited about the future. That's what we need. And you need people like me. You need people like me to look beyond the context of their own careers, the context of their own successes. You need people like me to see that your success is my success. We're not competing with each other. At this present stage, South Africa's pie, the economic pie of South Africa, is too small. We can't be fighting over crumbs. So it's important for us to elevate each other so that we increase the pool of the pie. And those who deserve the piece that they will get it. And those who have a piece will share it. So it's important for us to engage in what we call mass mentorship. This is what I'm doing today. It's mass mentorship. And it is necessary because you look at our history. It's a painful history. Very painful. But we cannot address our past by just looking at it. We must find solutions. So some of our parents didn't get the opportunities that we have today. Of course, our pool of opportunities have improved, but they're not enough. They're not enough. We need to improve on the opportunities that we can provide. So our parents, our grandparents didn't have the opportunities that we have. So they can go only so far in mentoring us. And so what we need to do is to ensure that we do mass mentorship. People who are going on their journey to success, you don't have to be successful to mentor someone. All you need is knowledge that is useful. If you're on your journey to success or you are successful, I plead with you, embark on the journey of mass mentorship when you have the opportunity, within your limitations. It's important. It's not just giving back, but it is raising up. We must raise this platform and raise the economic performance of our country and the social context of our country. Let's share another comment. Timothy says, excited for today's session, networking with fellow young people, sharing ideas, becoming a catalyst for South Africa's future. Look at the comments. Look at the comments. People are excited. You have the link. We can actually put the link there in the chats right now. And I will make sure that within the next 30 minutes, we take you through the entire initiative so that if your data has limitations, you will be able to get all the information. So I will share the link. You can post the link. We have decided to open it up. Everybody can now log in. You can post it everywhere. But what I ask you to do is I'd like you to use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Let's get it trending. Share it. Search it on YouTube. Let's retweet everybody who's posting it. Let's follow everybody who posts the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Let's follow them. This is a new network. These are people who have shared goals. We are like-minded individuals. We are going to fuel the change in our country. We are going to be a driving force for the change that is necessary in our country. Let's follow each other. Subscribe to Ditshego Media on YouTube. Subscribe to this page. Let's make it grow. Go on social media. Let's follow each other and let us make this circle bigger. Let's be honest. Young people are not going to mobilize themselves without assistance. It is up to you and me to make sure that we come together and we chart a way forward. And remember, today I'm going to be sharing a lot of insights. I'm currently doing my master's in business administration. Last year, I did my postgraduate diploma in business administration at Gibbs Business School, a very fine institution that falls under the University of Pretoria. And I did macroeconomics and microeconomics. I got a distinction for macroeconomics. So I will be sharing the insights that I have in terms of growing our economy. But over and above that, you also have your own insights. You have your own experiences. It is not just our ideas that matter. Your ideas matter. So when you go on social media, use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. You can share the ideas that we're sharing, but also think about your own ideas. What is the South Africa that you envision? I want to challenge you right now. I want to challenge you. Over and above what we're discussing today, I want you, over the course of the day, to say, I'm going to post what my vision for South Africa is. What is my vision for my career? And what is my vision for South Africa? What South Africa do you want to live in? Using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. And let's retweet and let's get this energy going. My notebook is ready. We've got Sipho Kule, who says, my notebook is ready so I can note everything down. I want it to be a good start for the year. Now, we need to move forward. We need to move forward, and we have to actually launch this initiative. We have to actually launch this initiative. And I have to take you through the whole pitch that we have, and I'm going to take you through everything and all that we are going through. And as I'm talking to you, I'm just posting the link for everybody to be able to get involved and to subscribe to Ditshego Media and to participate in the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. Hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. So we have here somebody who is asking for the link. I'm just sending it quickly to that person. We don't want anybody to be behind, but I actually have to launch this thing. So it is now time for us to launch it. I will continue to share your views, and whether it's negative or positive, I'm going to share your views. I'm going to share your views. All of them are positive, but we're going to share all of your views. So let me go back to the caption. I'm just going to show you the live there, and now we've got the hashtag there at the bottom. Pay attention to the hashtag if you're looking to know who is now speaking to you. I'm Tebogo Ditshego. I'm the president of the South African Graduates Business Network, the CEO of Ditshego Media, and we are launching the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. We want to empower thousands and thousands of young people. And over and above that, within 5 years, why not? Why shouldn't we empower hundreds of thousands of young people and influence the empowerment of millions of young people? We're looking to do that, and I will take you through everything as we go along. So let's launch this initiative. Let me take you through our vision. And I promised you that by 10 o'clock, I would have shared most of what is important so that if you have limitations in terms of data, you can deal with it. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm going to now take you through our initiative. So use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Search the hashtag, retweet everybody. Tell us what your vision for South Africa is. Share these ideas, and we will take you through this initiative, which is very exciting. Now, youth economic exclusion in South Africa has reached crisis levels, and drastic action needs to be taken. In the third quarter of 2021, Stats SA reported that the unemployment rate in South Africa rose to 34.9%. In terms of age groups, the unemployment rates between the ages 55 to 64 in South Africa is only 13.1%. So the unemployment rates for people between the ages of 55 to 64 is only 13.1%. The unemployment rate of individuals between the ages of 45 to 54 is 20%. The unemployment rate of individuals between the ages of 35 to 44 years is 27%. So you can see it goes down. I'm going to repeat these figures. It goes down as the age goes. The unemployment rate goes up as the age goes down. The unemployment rate of individuals between the ages of 25 to 34 is 41.3%. 40, that's almost half of people between the ages of 25 to 34 are unemployed. And for those between the ages of 16 to 24, it's 63.3%. It's too high. Now, let me take you through the figures again. So the general unemployment rate in South Africa is 34.9%. The unemployment rate for individuals between the ages of 55 to 64 is 13.1%. Of individuals between 45 and 54, it's 20%. Of individuals between the ages of 34 to 44 years, it's 27%. Of individuals between the ages of 25 to 34, it's 41.3%. And individuals between the ages of 16 to 24, unemployment is 63.3%. It's almost 2/3 of individuals between the ages of 16 to 24 are unemployed. Many of them are also not in an educational institution. So economic inactivity of young people robs the nation of its potential. We have to come together and develop strategies to unlock the potential of young people. And this is the reason the South African Graduates Business Network, in partnership with Ditshego Media, has decided to launch the Youth Economic Empowerment Initiative that aims to create economic opportunities for thousands of young people. As a country, we must go beyond temporary relief measures towards true investments in the future of young people. The economic inactivity of young people is not only a ticking time bomb, it is simply unjustified, unsustainable, and it is not in the best interests of the present or the future of our country. What's in the best interest of our country is for young people to become upskilled, to be provided with quality education, regardless of your economic background or your geography, your gender or your race. What's in the best interest of the country is for young people to become economically active and being supported financially in every way imaginable to become the architects of their own destiny. The youth are not only the future, but the youth are our present. The youth must be involved in decision-making processes that will shape the future trajectory of our country. So the youth must be involved in the decision-making process because we need to shape the future trajectory of our country because it affects us as young people. So now I'm going to take you through the interventions that the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive will make, powered by the South African Graduates Business Network as well as Ditshego Media. So many of these are going to appear on your screen as I take you through them, and you will be able to see them, and you are also free to screen grab and share how we are going to intervene as the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. So, the first intervention of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive will be to assist the youth with skills to improve their CVs, to make them more attractive for job opportunities, and all participants in this platform will be provided with this opportunity. So we would like to ask you to send the following details to president@sagnet.co.za so that you can benefit. So I've put the details on my screen. You can screen grab these details so that when it is time for us to do the curriculum vitae skills development program, which is going to come very soon, you will be able to benefit and we will invite you accordingly. We are more likely to host it on YouTube, and we are likely to also invite more young people to benefit. So the details that we need are, please email your name, surname, number, email address, home province and city, age, profession or course, to president@sagnet.co.za. Of course, if you're an entrepreneur, you would write that as your profession. And if you don't have a profession now, you can talk about what profession you'd like to enter. So the details are at the bottom of your screen. If you'd like to benefit from the CV Skills Development Program, which we will be doing, and we will be doing that very, very soon, we will invite everybody who has tuned in to the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. So moving on to our second intervention for the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. Our second intervention will be to develop the skills of young people to be more attractive in job interviews. This is very important. Now, as I share the third intervention there, I just want to talk to this quickly. Now, you may have the skills necessary to get jobs. However, if you have not packaged those skills strategically, you are at a disadvantage, because the manner in which you package your CV has a large impact on whether or not you are invited to a job interview. Now, something that we take for granted is that developing a CV is a skill. But fortunately, this is a skill that you can learn. And I've been getting a lot of opportunities by being able to package my CV strategically. And I think it's important for us to share these skills with you, to learn how to package your CV strategically so that you can get access to opportunities. So this will be free of charge. We will be providing young people with access to the Curriculum Vitae Skills Development Program. We are likely to host it on YouTube. We want to do it within this month in this month in January. You know we're live, so I can't take back what I've said. So we'd like to do the Skills Development Program for CVs in January 2022, because a lot of our interventions will take time, but young people need interventions now. They need help now. So this is one of the things that we can offer now, which is assistance with developing your CV. The second would be to assist you in how to approach an interview, how to approach the interview process. So if you go on my YouTube page, I think the chat that I had this morning, I already spoke about a few things that you can do. And I can just briefly touch on some of the mistakes that people make when they get into an interview. So you could say that you are entering an interview and they ask you, so tell us more about yourself. Now, the young person who's going to say, well, I love jogging and reading, and I'm one person who's outgoing and hardworking, and I've got great ambitions for the future. That's nice to know, but it's irrelevant for the job interview. So it's the young person who's going to answer the question as, tell us more about yourself in the context of this job. What qualifies you for this position, and what separates you from another person who has applied for this position? That's the real question. So when they ask you, tell us more about yourself, they're actually asking you, tell us more about what qualifies you for this position and what separates you from other people who have applied. So you just take them through your career. So you have these qualifications, you have this amount of experience, these are your milestones, these are the ideas that you brought to the table, this is the impact that your ideas have had. And what's critical in terms of what separates you from the rest is that your achievements are what separate you from the rest. So we always talk about what are your unique value propositions, and you go out and think, wow, I must have invented something that has completely disrupted an entire industry. No, it's just about your achievements. Getting a matric certificate is an achievement, because as soon as you get it, you are more competitive than someone who doesn't have it. So then your competition is lower. Then you get a qualification, your first one, a diploma, a degree. That is an achievement. And so that is something that separates you from other people who don't have it. And if you have more degrees, then great. It makes you more competitive and it separates you more from the competition. And then if you've worked for a particular company, great. Some people have not worked for that particular company. And so that is also an achievement. And for the amount of years you worked there, and also what did you achieve? What awards have you won, if you have? So you don't have to have won awards, but awards are also something that separates you from your competition. So those are small tips entering the interview. And I think another thing, you have to do research on the company that you're going to the interview for. You have to go and do your research on the company. Basic Google search. Who is the CEO? Who is the MD? Or who is the Director General of the department? Who is the Minister of the department? What is the mandate? If it's a government department, what is their mandate? What new media releases have they released? What do you think of their trajectory? What value would you add? What ideas do you have? What are they doing well? How can they improve? But over and above that, what questions do you have? So another thing that's important is networking, which is something that is also a skill that you can develop. And an important part of networking is not asking what they can do for you, but asking what can I do for them? Because I already know what value you could add. Now I want to know what value can I add? And you don't have to have millions and millions of rands or whatever. You don't have to have much to add value to somebody's life. A simple compliment to say, I think you're doing this very well. I read this article about you and I found it very fascinating. I found that article to be very, very fascinating. I read it in the Business Day. You do a Google search on the CEO of the company. You read about them. And try to keep it positive, because that's something that people want. They want positivity. So a simple compliment, empathy, thinking about the other person, looking at what they're doing well, giving them a compliment, giving them ideas is where it starts. But over and above that, looking at your achievements and how you can add value is where you want to be. Those are the conversations that you want to have. So that's just high level of how you network, how you interact in a job interview that can help you and propel you to be more successful. And you don't have to be successful at all interviews. You don't have to get all the opportunities. I mean, you can go for 10 job interviews. If you are shortlisted for one, that's an achievement. It's one job. It's one shortlisting that you didn't have if you didn't apply for 10 jobs. So don't look at it in a way that, I've applied for 20, 30 jobs. I'm not getting shortlisted. No. At least you applied for 20 jobs. That's progress. At least you applied for 20 contracts. That's progress. If you only get shortlisted for one and you don't get it, it's one shortlisting that gives you experience that you can use and learn from to be better in the next one. So I want you to continuously be hopeful about your trajectory. So I just wanted to talk to you about that. And now I'll go to how else we're going to intervene as the South African Graduates Business Network in the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. So continue to use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Let's get the hashtag trending on Twitter. Search it, retweet everyone who is using the hashtag, follow everyone who is using the hashtag, and I guarantee you, if we do that, all of us, every 1 to 2 minutes, going up and down from the live to the Twitter, to the live to the Twitter, we will be trending. But if we don't do it, then unfortunately, we allow all of the other stuff to trend above us. So the third intervention of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive will be to assist young people with skills to start their first jobs, navigate the corporate world for the purposes of negotiating their way up the corporate ladder. I have to stop there, so just give me 1 second. I have to stop there for 1 second and talk to you about this. I really do have to talk to you about this because I think this is very important. So, onboarding, it's called onboarding, which is a human resource concept, means how do you bring somebody on board who is new to a company? Now, a lot of young people lose their jobs quick, like very, very quickly, because they don't know how to navigate the space within the corporate world. They don't know how to interact, and they don't know how to chart their path towards growth in integration within a company. So, unfortunately, many young people fall into the trap of then creating more problems than they solve, and then they would be seen as a liability, which they are not, and then they would be let go of. So it's important for us to use the techniques that we've learned to teach young people, how do you participate in the process of onboarding? How do you get in that position? Because it's very uncomfortable when you get your first job or your second job, or when you're going into a new environment. It's uncomfortable. It can be a culture shock. But you can be prepared, and there are skills that you can learn to be prepared once the opportunity does come. So that is amongst the programs that we will be introducing to ensure that young people are empowered. Now, moving forward, the fourth intervention of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive will be to develop an incubation where young people will be hired to gain skills that make them more attractive in the job market. Now, what makes this intervention even more impactful is small businesses will be invited to apply for skills they need for their businesses, and that will create a two-way benefit where the young person will gain experience and the small business will benefit from the valuable skill. Now, I want you to feel free to screen grab, share this on your social media pages so that people can see, and they can see exactly our vision for the youth moving forward. But I want to talk to this one. I think this one is also a very important one that I'd like to discuss. Now, when we are sharing the skills of navigating your first job, and when we are ensuring that we develop an incubation to hire young people, that is a step that is going to require a lot of commitment. So it'll require a lot of resources, a lot of commitment, and for me to pull together people who can upskill these young people and provide them with experience. So we will be hiring young people ourselves. It will be over time, and it will be gradually. We might start with 10 at a time, but we will be incubating them. People with different skills, it could be human resources, marketing, IT, different skills. We incubate you, we help to upskill you, we mentor you, and then we connect you to opportunities. Now, the beautiful thing about this is that small businesses will be able to apply to the South African Graduates Business Network through the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive to get access to those skills, either for free or at a very minimal fee. It will depend on our amount of how much we can be able to offer them at the time. So it's the capacity that will be the deciding factor. So we will look into how many young people does the business hire, how many youth from the townships, rural areas, how many women, how many young men. We will look into who are the people you employ, how many are there, and we'll look at a cost-benefit analysis and see whether or not we will be connecting the young person to that particular opportunity. And for successful businesses, they will be able to go and get those resources that they need to grow their businesses from our incubation. So it's a two-way street where the small business gets the service and the young person gets the skill. So that's a beautiful thing that I'm very excited about, because we will now be growing young people practically in our incubation, and we will be helping to grow small businesses. So a very simple example, you're a small business and you don't have a website, and you think that if you could develop a website, it could really add value to your business from a branding perspective. Then you apply to the South African Graduates Business Network to say, I would like to source these skills from your incubation. We send you the application forms, and then we connect you to the young person if it's successful, and then you get the services, either at a minimal cost or for free. So that is exciting, but those are more long-term strategies, because we need to speak to institutions, government institutions, as well as private sector institutions to fund the incubator, so that we can bring young people on board. We have the resources necessary for us to ensure that we bring it and we launch it and we hire these young people. This is very exciting for me, because this is our practical involvement in employing young people. So let's go back to our fifth intervention, and that will be to organize young people to develop legislation and policies that will enable sustainable economic growth that will finally defeat our challenge with addressing youth unemployment. That is something that is very close to my heart. One of the reasons we've established the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive is because we know that it is important for young people to be organized. And as I said at the beginning, we need young people to be organized, because if you approach an institution on your own, your individual voice will not be as strong as our collective voice. So we must be organized. That is how we're going to be able to unlock the resources, to unlock the opportunities. But organization is also important from a legislation and policy perspective, because instead of us coming individually, we come collectively and say, here is legislation and here is policies that we propose be implemented to unlock economic opportunities, not just for thousands of young people, but for millions of young people. So that is very exciting, because now we will be going to the core of some of the challenges that young people face. And so we will take just 1 minute. Within this 1 minute, what I want you to do, log into Twitter using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Comment, don't leave the live, but just log on to Twitter, because we will be coming back. And I'm going to be talking about the policies that will be required for us to unlock opportunities for millions of young people. I will go back and give you the details again of how you can benefit from the CV Skills Development Program that we will be providing to everyone who has logged into this live. I will be sharing your comments, so we'll just be taking a 2-minute off and allowing you to go on Twitter, search Youth Economic Empowerment, retweet everybody who has used the hashtag, follow everybody, so we create a new community, and we will be going back to the final aspect of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive, which is policy development and legislation. And I will now talk about how can we unlock economic opportunities from a policy perspective for millions of young people. So we will be right back, but as we take this very short breather, I will be sharing your comments. So look for your comments, screen grab the comments that you see on the screen, and feel free to share them on social media. I'm looking forward to seeing greater and greater growth of this opportunity. This is exciting. So many young people have logged in. I'm very proud of you, and we will be right back in a moment. Dear young South Africans, as the president of the South African Graduates Business Network and the CEO of Ditshego Media, I'm excited to announce that we will be launching the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive on Sunday, the 9th of January, 2022 from 9 a.m. This is a moment where we will support you to become the architects of your own destiny. So to RSVP, please email president@sagnet.co.za. We look forward to seeing you there. When does the magic happen? Well, it happens at sunset with the beautiful mirage of colors adorning the horizon. But how often do we invest in and appreciate these magical moments? Now, we believe that marketing is the magic that leads to business growth as well as customer satisfaction. So how much is your business growing and how satisfied are your customers? If you'd like to do better, we'd love to have that conversation. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have Tebogo Ditshego and the team actually in studio this morning from Ditshego Media, and quite an exciting initiative that's being launched on Sunday, very jam-packed. Tebogo, tell us the details on that.
RSVP at president@sagnet.co.za. So SAGNET is SAGNET, president@sagnet.co.za.
Sister kunjani? Kusho ukuthi nidayisa amakhalenda lana.
Amalini.
U-2000 rand kuphela.
Oh bhuti, 2000.
Le ayifani namanye amakhalenda le namaholiday abhaya.
Aren't you tired of unrealistic marketing campaigns? Well, look no further. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity. Yep, it's the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. So we're happy that you've tuned in live. We will be taking you through the policies that we need to put in place to intervene. And it'll be right after this break, but let's go through your comments. We have Koketo here who says this is an exciting way to start the year. So I will be taking you through all the comments as the videos play, and we will be back shortly. Stay tuned. Go on to Twitter using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, I need to interrupt your break. What I need you to do now is to go into the chats. I want you to write your details so that this becomes a networking session. I want you to put your details, name, surname, your profession, and your email address, as well as your location. Not just your city and province is enough. I want you guys to network amongst yourselves. I want you to write that in the chats. Name, surname, email address, profession, as well as city, province, where you're located, so you can network amongst yourselves, see how you can add value to each other. Save the email addresses that you see there that you'd like to work with, and continue to follow each other on Twitter. Hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Retweet them. Share your feelings. Share your vision for South Africa. We will be back very shortly. But for now, let's continue to network. Put your details in the chat. Name, surname, your profession, your email address, as well as your city and the town where you're from, so that we can network currently. So we're only going to spend 5 minutes networking with each other. You can also log in and out, going to Twitter, post, retweet, and we will see you back shortly. Let me continue to share your comments. Thank you very much. We should be back. We should be back. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. And I will be with you in a moment. We are now back officially. We are back and we're not going anywhere anymore. Thank you very much. We're doing well on Twitter. We're about to trend on Twitter. It's hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. And we were talking about our interventions that we're going to make. And we spoke about why is it important for young people to come together. And we want to emphasize it. We all have a responsibility to ensure that young people become empowered. Young people get opportunities. You need to get opportunities. You need to start to grow in your career, and that should be a continuous process. Your friends need to succeed. People in your community need to succeed. People in your family need to succeed. We want to see people succeeding because that is how a nation becomes prosperous. And so we must make sure that we take personal responsibility. And so at the beginning, I spoke about how, as young people, we've been very impactful on social media. We've used it for many reasons: to meet new people, to achieve certain personal objectives. We've used it to get opportunities, professional, personal opportunities. We've used it to entertain and to get entertainment and to be informed. So we have been using it effectively, but we can use it even more effectively. We need to get the narrative of youth empowerment at the center stage. Every opportunity that we get, we must place youth empowerment at the center stage. And one of the things that we need to look into is that if it trends on social media today, or and it gains traction, then youth empowerment is now at the center stage. Young people are now taking responsibility for their destiny. And so that becomes very important. And this is a very good opportunity for us to do that. So as we proceed with this initiative, I want us to know that we have to take personal responsibility. We must go on Twitter, use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. We should search it, retweet everybody who is tweeting about it. We should follow people who are using this hashtag. Network amongst ourselves because we are like-minded individuals. And the reason we need to do this is because when we are working together, we are stronger than if we're trying to work alone. If you approach an institution with great ideas, it's much more difficult to do it when you're on your own than if you're within a network that is working together very well. And as I said at the beginning, let us focus on the promise of tomorrow. One thing that we have in common is we're optimistic about the future, is that we're hopeful about the future, is that we're taking steps to make our future better. And so let us not take one step and not take the final steps. Let us not be the ones who do not finish what they start. The ones who are motivated for a few seconds and then they lose hope. Let us be the ones who are in it for the long run, who know that our base is this big currently, but we are going to grow bigger and bigger and bigger moving forward. There's no way we're not going to grow. There's no way we're not going to succeed. We have to succeed. The future of our country depends on us succeeding in the initiative of ensuring that young people realize their potential. So we must succeed. We must be in it for the long run. And I'm proud of you because you are a pioneer of this initiative. You're one of the founding members of this initiative. You are the one who propelled it from ground zero. The very most difficult thing to do in life, to propel from 0 to 1. I'll recommend a book by Peter Thiel called 0 to 1. It's not easy, but it is doable. So use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Let's take personal responsibility for our success. Let's work together. Let's unlock those opportunities. Now, moving forward, I want to take you through the fourth intervention, where actually we want to go straight to the fifth intervention, where we will talk about policies and legislation necessary to unlock opportunities for millions of young people. Now, I did my master's in business administration at Gibbs Business School. I'm left with 10 months and then I'll be complete. I already have a postgraduate diploma in business administration from Gibbs Business School. A part of the course is microeconomics and macroeconomics. And I got a distinction for macroeconomics. And we came up with solutions in different areas: Chile, Brazil, Finland, different countries. And we looked at how they've been performing economically historically, what solutions they've implemented. And one of the key focus areas that we have missed as South Africa is the focus area that has driven the greatest and the largest economies in the world. And that is focusing on improving our economic complexity. Research demonstrates that for an economy to absorb the jobs and to absorb its labor force, for its economy to grow, for the people to prosper, for us to get a higher GDP, for us to become globally competitive, we must invest in improving our economic complexity. It obviously starts with quality education, but it moves within research and development. Because through research and development is where you get your innovations, is where you improve on your complexity. But it's a continuous process that requires a deliberate approach. So let's talk about what is economic complexity, which countries we can learn from, and how we can ensure that we have a policy that is deliberate in improving our economic complexity so that we can empower millions of youth and South Africans in general to get economic opportunities, so that we can reduce unemployment to single digits, and so that we can grow, in double digits and the high single digits, GDP economic growth. So, economic complexity is about improving the sophistication of the products and services that you offer. The more complex the product or service, the more difficult it is to replicate, and the more you can charge for the product or service. This is something I've benefited from personally in my business as we became more and more complex. But this is something that economies the world over are learning from, and they're learning about economic complexity. And so a simple example of economic complexity is you can have trees that have oranges that you are producing. You can have a farm that's producing oranges. You pick those oranges, put it in a plastic bag, and you sell it as a raw material. That's a raw material. You sell it. You can make money, and it's a product that people would buy into if the quality is good and if the price is right. However, you become more complex if you go beyond producing oranges to manufacturing orange juice. Why is orange juice more complex than oranges? Because the process of producing orange juice is more sophisticated than that of producing oranges. The skills that you would require to produce orange juice at a particular scale is much higher than the skills that you would require to produce oranges. With orange juice, there's a more complex supply chain. You need more oranges to satisfy an individual customer. You will need manufacturing of equipment. You would need to have equipment. You would need more labor. You would need packaging. You would need marketing. And so that creates many more jobs than the individual who's only selling oranges. So it's the same thing as we export our raw materials, our natural resources, and we do not beneficiate them. We don't produce anything with them here. And that could be because many of the things that we could produce are not viable economically. But we must look into what would be viable to produce locally and how we can develop partnerships with other countries who know how to produce and who are beneficiating our natural resources to bring their factories in and possibly to do a skills transfer and a technical skills transfer so that we can produce it ourselves. Obviously, they would benefit and we would benefit, but we would create jobs and we would learn something and we would get expertise that we don't currently have. So if you look at a country like South Korea, in the 1950s, South Korea was the 5th poorest country in the world. In the 1950s, South Korea was the 5th poorest country in the world. In 2022, currently, South Korea is amongst the 12 largest economies in the world. South Korea is around the size of the Northwest province. So obviously, they are not endowed with natural land resources and other resources such as us. In fact, there's a lot of high-rising buildings to deal with the population of South Korea, which is similar to the population of South Africa. Very, very close to our population. But they're the size of the Northwest province, give or take. However, their economy is much bigger than ours. Their exports are way higher than ours. Their unemployment rate way lower. The standard of living way higher. And the general innovation is much more advanced than ours. And how did they do that? Is that they deliberately focused on certain industries, invested in research and development in vehicle manufacturing, electronics manufacturing, electronic equipment manufacturing, and they became more and more sophisticated, created more and more jobs. They were able to export more and therefore create jobs for most of their people. So their unemployment is in single digits. So South Korea produces Samsung products, Hyundai products. They're all from South Korea. Now, the problem with policy development to a certain degree is that we then become protectionists. So we say, we want to produce televisions like South Korea. So then we'll protect the television industry in South Africa. And then we will provide tariffs to South Korea so that it is expensive for them. And then we protect the people who want to produce television in South Africa. That is not a good idea. Protectionism is not a good economic policy. Competitivism and improving our complexity is a good economic approach. And let me explain it to you. Let's say we have Mr. and Mrs. Kumalo. They are the founders of a salon that does people's hair. And a part of the equipment they use to do people's hair is a shaving machine. Now let's say the shaving machine is costing you about 150 rands if you import it from another country. And let's say we try to develop a shaving machine in South Africa, but because we are not economically competitive, we don't have the expertise, it would cost you 2,000 rands to buy a South African version of the same equipment that is probably not even the same quality. Now, the trouble of that is that if you are now going to put tariffs on importing these shaving machines from the competitive country and say they must cost more than producing it here, then Mr. and Mrs. Khumalo will now have to buy a shaving machine for 2,000 rands minimum, and they will then pass on the cost to their customers. And unfortunately, that would mean that perhaps your haircut would be 3 times more expensive. And so a simple haircut that could have cost, let's say, 50 rands is now costing you 150 rands. And the poorest of the poor would then have to choose now between a haircut and buying food. And if they do go for the haircut, they're not going to go as much as they used to because they can't afford to. It's too expensive. So it makes absolutely no sense to try to protect that economy or to try to protect that kind of manufacturing because we're just not competitive there. And so we'd rather let it be low tariffs so that Mr. and Mrs. Khumalo can continue to shave your hair and do your hair at a lower cost. They make money for themselves. They keep inflation low. You can afford the haircut, and then you can also afford the basic needs that you have. It's just a simple example. We have to pick our economic battles. We can't produce everything locally. Doesn't make any sense to do that. But there are things that we can produce locally. And we must be deliberate in seeking out those opportunities, becoming globally competitive. So that in South Korea, there will be a family, Mr. and Mrs. Chang, who will take a South African product and use it to beneficiate and to benefit from in South Korea. And so that is the approach that we need to take. It is very important for us to take that approach from an economic standpoint, and we need to understand economic complexity in that regard. So if we can improve our economic complexity, we will be able to become more and more successful in spurring economic growth and so on and so forth. So what I will do now, I will then talk about the last leg of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. I will quickly go to your chats. So it will take about 5 minutes to just go through your chats, and we can continuously post on Twitter and so on and so forth. So I'll take you through the last leg, and then we will wrap it up. We are looking to wrap the session up before 11. It should be wrapped up. Thank you for tuning in. We will be right back. Give us only 5 minutes. Let's go through the chats.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have Tebogo Ditshego and the team actually in studio this morning from Ditshego Media, and quite an exciting initiative that's being launched on Sunday. Very jam-packed. Tebogo, tell us the details on that.
RSVP at president@sagnet.co.za. So SAGNET is SAGNET, president@sagnet.co.za. does the magic happen? Well, it happens at sunset with the beautiful mirage of colors adorning the horizon. But how often do we invest in and appreciate these magical moments? Now, we believe that marketing is the magic that leads to business growth as well as customer satisfaction. So how much is your business growing and how satisfied are your customers? If you'd like to do better, we'd love to have that conversation. Ditshego Media, your vision, our creativity. Welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you very much for attending the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive launch, hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. And we're using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. And we are retweeting everyone who posts it. We're following everybody who posts it. And we are taking charge of the future of this country. Now, I've been looking at the chats. I'm going to go through the chats. And what we will do is when we close the session at around 5 minutes to 11, we will then play the chats on the screen so that you can get an opportunity to screen grab your comment so you can share it. We want you to share your vision for South Africa on Twitter using hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. We want you to share ideas of how we can grow our economy. We want you to share your aspirations for your personal career. We want you to grow your network grow your following on Twitter and on social media. We want to help you to upskill you in the various ways that will be beneficial. It's a step-by-step process, but some of them will start now. So a simple example, if you can screen grab what you see on the screen now, I want you to send your name, surname, number, email address, home province, city, age, professional course to president@sagnet.co.za, and we will be assisting you with curriculum vitae development skills. We'll do that very soon because I think a lot of our interventions are long-term, especially the policy ones around economic complexity. Those are long-term policy positions. But there are things we need to do now. Upskilling you, helping you with your CV, mentoring you in terms of approaching a job interview, helping you with onboarding skills to navigate the social world and the culture shock that you're going to face once you get that job that you're looking for. And how do you navigate this space and to grow in the corporate world? I saw the tweet about funding businesses. I saw the comment about whether we're going to be providing funding. I saw the comment about if we'll be providing training if you want to be on a board. I saw all of that. We will be going to that and we will be addressing that before we close. We will be closing in 10 minutes. If you have just logged in, you didn't miss everything. You will get a sense of what we are planning. And when we close the session, we will go through the 6 steps that we will be intervening so that you can see what we have already discussed. But let's take personal responsibility for the future of this country, for the future of young people, and for our own future. If you do better, the country does better. If you get employed or you get a contract as an entrepreneur, the country gets better. Because your success is the success of the country. And if you get better, I get better, and we get better. Because we are growing together as a country. We need to grow together. And so as we climb the ladder of success, let us bring others with me. Let us bring others with us. As we climb the ladder of success, let us bring others with us. You are free to screen grab, you're free to share, you're free to record. You're free to use this content as you wish to use it, and to spread the word using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. You're free to share the links. We've opened it up for the public to participate in. So we've spoken about so many things, different issues, and just to get to the comment around developing small businesses, it's important. More than 60% of jobs in South Africa are created by small and medium-sized businesses. It's important. That is critical for us to create jobs and to grow the economy. But we do need to improve on our ecosystem so that we can deal with the barriers to entry the various industries. Some of the barriers are simply your network. You can't enter because you don't have the right network. Some are the skills. You need more skills for you to build your credibility, to develop your product and your service to a level that it's competitive. Some of those will require financial resources, and some will require other resources like platforms to network. So we can't run away from the imperative for us to get business funding. It's important. Businesses must be funded. But while we wait for funding, we must find other solutions in order for us to grow our businesses and to become successful. We have to become resourceful. So small businesses are critical. We talk about the township economy, but I think we need to merge the economic activities in the townships into the broader mainstream economy. The broader mainstream economy must embrace businesses from all over the walks of our country. They must embrace people from different backgrounds. We need to get more small businesses onto the procurement of private companies, and the public sector. We need to see more small businesses benefiting from the procurement ecosystem, which means that we need outreach programs to reach these small businesses so that they are aware of these opportunities. But we also need to make sure that the barriers to entry are not so high that they completely exclude people who could be adding value to the government department or to the private business. So that will require us to cooperate and to work together. We must also grow our economy. So share the pie and grow the pie. And so funding is going to be necessary. The ecosystem needs to be conducive, because it's one thing to have a great idea, but if it's not being embraced, if it cannot get to market, then it's just an idea. The ecosystem must be conducive for us to spread those good ideas and to make money off of those good ideas, to create jobs from our good ideas. And if you have a business, look towards improving your complexity. Become more and more complex in what you are providing, because that is going to make you more competitive and it'll allow you to make higher earnings. So that is where we are right now, is the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. And so we're now going to go into the next phase, which will be our sixth intervention as the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. We're going to be looking towards raising funds so that we can assist small businesses to grow. So that's going to require us to go and mobilize those resources so that we can assist small businesses who are within our ecosystem to grow. That's going to be very important. It's the final stage after the policy development and assistance with policies and legislation. That will be the final phase of this program where we intervene at that level. And perhaps before even intervening at that level, we may also offer skills development and training for you to help you to grow your small business. And so we are about to conclude the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive launch. It's exciting. This is something that we've been waiting for so long. I posted the vision around the time when the year was winding down. And the vision was simply to create economic opportunities for thousands of young people. Young people were excited to hear that we will be putting energy towards that. And I think a lot of young people may have been surprised that we actually launched it a week later. But I'd like to challenge you. I would like to challenge you who is still here live for the launch of the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive. Challenge number 1. I challenge you to share the content that we've had here on Twitter and your other social media platforms using the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. I challenge you to take personal responsibility to ensure that this hashtag trends so that we can be at the forefront of the narrative of the nation. And other opportunities that we get moving forward. Let's make it trend. Let's play our part to make it trend. Post your vision for South Africa. Post your personal vision for your own career, for your own business. Post your ideas on how can we grow this economy and empower young people, and also graduates who may not be young people anymore. Post your ideas. Post the ideas that you've heard here. Post the learnings that you've obtained here using the hashtag. Take personal responsibility for making this trend, sustaining the trend. Take personal responsibility, which is now the second challenge. I challenge you. Take personal responsibility for being a part of the people who will be organized with the South African Graduates Business Network, with the Youth Economic Empowerment Drive, Take personal responsibility to support these initiatives, to be a part of these initiatives, whether or not you're a graduate, whether or not you are young. Take personal responsibility to ensure that we grow these initiatives and we ensure that they empower young people moving forward. I repeat, if you go alone to an institution, it's much more difficult than if we go together. Growing alone is much more steeper of a challenge than growing together. So allow yourself to be a part of these initiatives. Share ideas with these initiatives. Because if you're a part of it, it already grows. So I challenge you to take personal responsibilities. The third challenge is I challenge you to participate in these skills development opportunities that we will be providing you. Email us your details so that we can invite you to the sessions where we will help you with skills to improve your CV, to improve your skills in getting interviewed, to improve your approach to getting into the workplace. Participate in these initiatives. If you're busy, share them with your followers so that they can benefit from these opportunities. So I challenge you to look at your hands. Take a look at your hands. There's a late singer by the name of Brooke Benton. He would say, take a look at your hands. I can't sing. Do they stand for love? Do they stand for war? Or do they stand for peace? I want you to take a look at your hands. What do your hands stand for? What are you doing with your hands? Is it productive? How much time are you spending on the various things that you're doing? How much time are you spending on things that are productive? The things that are productive are the things that are aligned to your goals. Take a look at yourself. Watch yourself. Get to know yourself. We always assume that we know ourselves, but watch yourself. Slowly, watch how you react to certain things. Watch your emotions. Watch yourself. Learn about yourself and see how you can grow and say, wait, you know what? Here I may have been off. I need to improve here. I need to start doing this. I need to start doing that so that you can be more focused and so you can grow and be more productive. Look at yourself. Take responsibility. But be optimistic for the future, which is my last challenge. Be optimistic for the future. Believe in the future. Believe in yourself. Do not allow your current circumstances to determine your future trajectory. Your current circumstances should not determine your future trajectory. So be optimistic. And I wish you all the best. We will be here to support you. We are on your side. Young South Africans, young Africans, graduates, we are on your side. God bless you. I wish you all the best. We will now be sharing your chats. We will continue to go live until around 11:15. You can chat with each other. You can share your ideas. Continue to use the hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment on Twitter. Search the hashtag. Retweet everyone who's tweeting. Let's gain that power, guys. It's the launch. We are excited. South Africa will never be the same again, and it is because of you. It's because of the action that you are going to take. It's because of your energy. I wish you all the best for 2022. I wish you all the best in your career, your studies, your business. Go out there and realize your potential. You've got immense potential. I believe in you. We are on your side. Hashtag Youth Economic Empowerment. Congratulations. We have launched it. Let's keep in touch. We will keep details on the screen of how you can get involved further. And we wish you all the best. God bless. Take care.
I'm not the man you want. You've made a mistake.
I'm in touch with technological advances pretty well everywhere, and I can tell you that no one has produced anything like
must be an element telling live in future.
But I think you should continue on Twitter on